It is now 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Me and my man Abby. 3:40 in the morning. We just woke up. We have a 4 a.m. meditation.
Last meditation.
Our final meditation. We have Joe Dispenza's signature pineal gland meditation.
Can you become aware of the space that surrounds you in space? Space.
It's a bit woo for me. It's a little bit woo for me, but I did one yesterday, 4 hours. It's the longest I've ever meditated, and I got up and he goes, that's 4 hours. We woke up from 4, woke up at 8, and I was like, what? So I'm like, I gotta do this again. But I'm just so present to something that I just realized is having a conversation with my new buddy, Abby. Abby is like my little brother now. He's like my little brother. But what I just realized was how much of an asshole I become right away when I meet people as a test. So right away, when he came up to introduce himself to me and I shared the story, I just went right for the jugular about every single thought and belief and everything that I had, and I realized I do that to test people. I become like some would say, an asshole if I've met you and I've crossed the boundary. I apologize, but I test people, and so this is our last day. We're leaving tomorrow for Barcelona. I just told Abby, I said today, and I just told him, I'm like, dude, man, if you're ever in Vancouver, we're gonna hang. Like this is the real deal. This friendship here is the real deal. And
Definitely.
And we just talked about how, because we were real right from the get-go.
Yeah.
What was your experience with it?
Well, usually I never hold back, honestly, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's no reason to have facades where we're always trying to pretend to be people that we're not, just so we can, you know, have people like us.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I try and avoid that. And I've noticed, you know, since Nima, we first met, I was quite surprised how open and honest he is about himself. And it really made me feel like I can be open and honest about myself even more, you know, because it's not quite common to see people like Nima who are personal development coaches and whatnot. I feel like some of them are reserved and don't like to, you know, share their stories so much, and if they do, it's to a certain extent. So they really try and keep that image, you know, of, you know, being a coach, and there's some sort of things that are accompanying that image. But for you, you're just all out, man. You're just all out, man, and that's why I think me and you just clicked right away. Honestly, as you said, like me and Nima, you know, we shared the room. We hung out several times, and yeah, it's like so natural, you know. This thing is so natural that we have. It's not like it's forced in any way. It just flows naturally.
We both have terrorism training, and that's the terrorism training binds us both.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's from Saudi Arabia. We both have beards. We are a U.S. borders worst nightmare come true. Coming at you. Axis of evil right here.
Exactly. So that's the common denominator that we have. Yeah.
But yeah, I just want you guys to meet my new buddy, and I'm gonna create a possibility that you come to Vancouver and hang out if they let you pass the border. As I reflect on my last night in Barcelona, before heading back, tomorrow's my flight back home, and I just had a really amazing time. I set an intention to leave with more inspiration and feeling more connected to my next level of service for people. That was the intention that I set. And whenever you set an intention, what I've observed is that you get the intention that you're looking for, but it's not usually in the form that you want or expect. And usually it comes in the form of some breakdowns. And just thinking about that really had me kind of looking at the distinction between the concept that when you want to create something with your life, in your relationships, in your career, in your health, you set an intention. So it's like this thing that you say, okay, I would like that in the future. So you create a future possibility with an intention. Yet at the same time, when we're dealing in the realm of bending reality so that we can create a life, I'm right on La Rambla, so it's pretty crazy, and even on a Sunday night, people are having a really good time. At the very next concept, at the same time that you set an intention, there's this concept of just kind of surrender and let it happen. So I was always curious, how do you merge the two? Because if we set an intention and we swing the pendulum too far in the intention setting, goal setting, going after what we want, I would have a tendency to start to force it. And I noticed myself forcing the outcome. And then if we swing the pendulum onto the other side and we say, all right, so then surrender. And if I just go too far into the surrender, then it's not really, when you have any challenges or resistance, you kind of will sit back and allow that to take over. And you just go, I'm just going to let it happen, and just let it happen and just let it flow. And so some people I know who are in that space of just letting it flow, only going when it feels right and not really putting pedal to the metal, they kind of sit back and do that, and their lives aren't really moving anywhere. I know a few people just like that who are always in that surrender type of state. So how do you merge the two? And what I learned was that it's important to set an intention to create a future possibility and to really have clarity on what that looks like. But at the same time, the concept is to get that when you're creating, you're not creating on your own. In other words, there's a field, there's a higher power, there's an intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, that you're co-creating with. And that to let go and to realize that to surrender is a big part, is a very important part, is to actually surrender to the will that you're not doing it alone, that it's not up to you, and that there's a force that can actually guide and assist you better than you can do it yourself. So it's in a way of the surrender means to kind of get out of the way of that happening. So to keep those two in mind, and when the resistance comes, not to give up, but to surrender to the feelings that could come up, surrendering to the resistance that can come up. Not judging the resistance and allowing that to be, but that not stopping you from continually moving forward. So this delicate fine line between creating an intention and surrender, there's this very narrow path, and it's up to us to figure that out for ourselves. And it's something that I've been working on, this duality of surrender and setting an intention and letting go and trusting that there is some sort of a greater power that we're connected to, that all we have to do is get out of the way and it flows a lot more smoothly. So hopefully that was of some use to you. Share in the comments section, and please tag somebody that you know that really would love to resonate with this. And I look forward to seeing you at the next perfect time.